Okay, good afternoon, everyone, from wherever you're joining. Welcome to today's tips and tricks. My name is Nwaru, and this is the 10th edition of this program during this year, and the last but one. In December, we'll be finishing up for this year. So welcome. The next 1 hour, we go through some of the issues that we all struggle with. So that if you are working with your grant application or you plan to do that in the future, you know the aspects to focus and things to avoid. All right, so just relax, take notes, and then if we have sufficient time, we can discuss at the end of the presentation. Okay, tips for failure, common mistakes grant writers make. What I would like you to do now is to use the chat box. Try to answer this question. Just write yes or no. Have you applied for a grant for research before? Have you applied for a grant for research before? Just write yes or no. Keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Is it difficult to write yes or no? It's so easy, isn't it? Keep it coming. Keep it coming, please. Keep it coming. I don't think we have exhausted everyone here. Okay, so I see very few of you. Of those who have applied before, have you failed in any? Just write yes or no. Only those who have applied before. Have you failed in any? Yep. Okay. Have you succeeded in any? Yes or no? Okay. Never succeeded. Nope. Yes. Nope. Yes. All right. Thank you. Okay. It doesn't really matter. It's not a personal thing because we all go through that process of success and failure in grant writing. And what happens is that once you are able to succeed, it brings joy. And if you fail, it brings sadness, of course. But we have to move on. One of the previous editions, we treated the issue of failure. And so perhaps if you're not here, then please just go to our YouTube channel and see the previous edition on failure, how they help to build us. But failure is part of the process, and particularly for grant writing. Grant writing. All right. For those of you who have never attended the SFI course in grant writing, You will do well to do that when next we are organizing it, because it will enrich you. We'll have several success stories that have come from there. So find the time to attend that course. All right. So here you have two definitions of grant writing. That document you produce, how it is defined. And here I have given the academic definition and what I call the point blank definition. The academic definition is a clear, direct document written to a particular organization or funding agency, persuading them to provide you with supports because you have an important and fully considered plan to advance a valuable cause. And two, you are responsible and capable of realizing that plan. You can see this is long. This is long. And because what we are dealing with in terms of grant is not grammar. They are practical issues because money is involved. They are very practical. So, in my opinion, the point blank definition captures what this really is all about in practical terms. In practical terms. And when you leave here, take this point blank definition and go over it, because that is actually what it is. And here it says it is the process of using your pen. Maybe nowadays we don't use pen, we use the computer, isn't it? But anyway, it's symbolic. Using your pen to put down your ideas so that you can convince the money owners to take their hands in their pocket and give you the money so that you can do your research. You see this? This is not an easy thing here. One is that the money is not yours. Okay? So in essence, you are a beggar, a scientific beggar. And really to understand this, you can see what those who beg on our streets across Africa, what they go through, their mindset, and some of them have realized plans to really make sure they get it from you. All right? So you are an advanced beggar because that money is not yours. Somebody has it. It's in the pocket of someone, and you need to write, use your pen to write, to convince that person to release that money to you. To do something he's not involved, he's not in charge, he's not overseeing. He just gives you the money, okay, go. And so that is not an easy transaction. And you have to know that. It's not an easy transaction. And that is why anytime I teach this course, I always tell people that the grant writing as a process of expressing yourself as an academic is tougher than academic writing. All right? And the reason is that money is involved. And money, they say, yeah, it can make friends, but it's very easy also to divide friends. It's not easy to come by. And you may think that these guys you're asking this money from are stingy. No, they are not stingy. It's just that this is an industry of its own that you need to have the tools to excel in them. All right. And so thinking about this, the nature of grant writing, the nature of grant writing is a systematic process with defined process and language. I want you to take note of these things, because if you don't, you may think that, oh, you have done your best, but your best may not actually be the required best. So it's a systematic process and involves defined process and language. So you need to have the language. You need to know how the process works. All right, that is one. The second one is that it is highly competitive, extremely, extremely competitive. Survival of the fittest. Extremely competitive. And can somebody tell me why it's competitive? Just raise your hand. I will recognize you. I can just take two people. Why you think this is competitive? Yeah, I have Harry. Harry, unmute and speak. Any second person? Any woman who can support Harry?
Go
ahead, Harry.
The grant process is highly competitive because those who give out grants are investing their money, and they want to ensure that the money goes to where to be best spent, and they will get the best out of the funds spent. So it's a question of who can convince them to give out their money.
All right. Then I have Basirat. Basirat, do you raise your hand? We brought it down. I don't see your hand again. Okay. I have Donna Umesi. Donna Umesi.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for the opportunity. I think it's competitive because a number of people are vying for some limited.
That is what I'm looking for. The money is limited. You can't cover for everybody. All right. And so there is a sifting process that it goes through. We have $1 million, and the application we have received is $500 million. It can be up to that. Trust me. Okay, let's say $1 million and $10 million is the application we got. So what do? We still need to give out this $1 million, but to who do we give it to? We give it to those who represent the best of what we are doing. That is why it's competitive. Survival of the fittest. So you go through it, and some will die natural death on the way. They will die natural death on the way. All right. And then, when I was teaching this course, I think also 2 years now, I was teaching this course, and I was asking them to derive terminologies to describe this business we do here in grant writing. And somebody came up with this warfare, and I have attached myself to it. It's actually a warfare. You're right. There are those you knock down because of your application, and there are those that knock you down. The goal is for you to stay up and knock people down to win it. So there is high rate of failure. Some organizations, their grant success is 10%, some 20%, some perhaps 30%. The more money that is involved, the bigger the organization, the perhaps the increased number or increased percentage. But it's rare to see any organization where the success rate is 50%. All right. And so because of that, it requires a winning attitude. You have to have a winning attitude. You have to be somebody who is set to overcome. If you don't have such attitude, oh goodness me, you cry for a long time. You can even find a bottle and put in the fridge. Anytime you fail from your grant, you put the tears there. You call it grant tears. You put it in the fridge. That bottle will be full for a long time if you don't have a winning attitude. You have many bottles actually, because I know that I've met people who cry. Yeah, but I don't want you to cry so much, okay? So you need to be persistent. And this persistence means doing it all over again, but not using the same method. If you're doing it all over again, if you fail today, next time, persistence means taking a clear look of what you have done. Why did you fail? Can you attack it from another direction? If you failed after that, attack it. I have a colleague of mine who just got a grant recently. We have been working with this for 3 years now. So she has made 3 attempts, and the third one, she got it. All right. And she's so excited because it's good money, over 500,000 euros she got. That's good money. But the first time she tried, she failed because we have developed a thick skin to work on this. So the second time she tried, and then the third time she tried again, and she hit it, and she got it. Okay, so you need to be persistent. So grants that win the race are the grants that have the best ideas from capable individuals or teams. Grants that win the race, that win this competition, are those that have the best ideas from capable individuals. Them plus clear, cohesive, and compelling proposals. Clear, cohesive, and compelling proposals. So if you have the best ideas, it doesn't win you. You need to be capable to deliver. And then you need to write it clearly. Clearly. You need to write it clearly. You need to write it cohesively. You need to write it compelling. Remember the point blank definition. You ask people to dig their hand in their pocket and give you their money. So you need to be very compelling. All right. So in the next perhaps half an hour, I will quickly pass through this and give you 10 top tips for failure. If you want to fail, just follow what I am going to show you here. If you want to fail, just follow it. You are going to, like I said, you're going to have many bottles of tears you will save for a long time. So if you want to fail, follow what I'm going to tell you here. All right. So I turn the question the other way. 10 top tips for failure, but there are also 10 top tips for success. There are many tips. I limited it to 10. 10. You can investigate the other ones, but these 10, don't play with them. All right. The first one I call is square pegs, round holes. It's a very common saying. The second one is idea recyclers. The third one is poor planners. The fourth one, rule benders. Fifth, lone rangers. Six, your identity track record. 7, methods madness. 8, failing the so what question. 9, in your world of jargons. And 10, budget sheet. It's very, very important that you take note of this. All right. Learn from the past, think of the future if you want to scale through. I tell you that many people end up their career as scientists and never got any grants. And it's not that palatable, because if you are in an institution where you bring the money, you are the king. And it happens anywhere in the world. I can give you stories. You are the king. Nobody plays games with you, okay? Because there's something that place you are likes, and that is money. So it's very important. So square pegs, round holes. You may have a compelling research idea, compelling one, but you fail to meet the funders test. When we go through this course, this ASFI grant writing course, we spend good amount of time to do what we call investigating the funders. So it doesn't matter the idea you have if you do not know who would fund it. So you shouldn't take your application and just find a funder and submit there. No, you need to know who the funder is. And this is the first thing you should do. This is the first thing you should know. And so that your ideas you have put together is within the funder's priority. If it's not within the funder's priority, is you are bringing square pegs into a round hole. It will not fit there. It's a failure already before it arrives. In fact, they will not take your application forward. As it enters the door, the administrative staff go through scrutiny. And the first thing, no, this one doesn't, it's not in what we fund. And they put it out. Many applications end up at that table and do not go forward for review because they are square pegs in round holes. So avoid that. And the way to avoid that is to investigate the funder. Investigate who the funder is, what the funder funds, who they fund, how much they fund, when did they open the application, how do you submit it, and so on and so forth. Make that investigation consciously and do it so that that information is on your fingertips. All right. Idea recyclers. Idea recyclers. The second one I have there. Science is, I define it as a tool to solve societal problems. A tool to solve societal problems. And if you're doing research, doing science, and you are doing it only to advance your career, you end up many times, or even most of the time, recycling idea because you are only ambitious to advance your career. That is not why you're there. The reason why you're there is that you want to contribute to a happy society. You want to contribute to development of your own context. And if your goal is doing that, you will spend time to develop ideas that will allow you to reach that goal. But many scientists recycle ideas. I was talking to a friend of mine some time ago, and he told me, do you know that some people who are writing their master thesis, they will live here and they will travel to another city, go to the library of the university in that city, check master theses that they have written in their own area, photocopy them, and go back to their own university, put a cover page and submit for their own. I said, is that possible? He said, of course. People recycle ideas. It may not be to that extreme, but the ideas you are bringing are what people already know, what people are doing, other people are doing. There's no originality to it. But I tell you, if you want to win grants, funders are looking for innovative ideas. Innovative ideas, I mean ideas that tell a story, ideas that make change, ideas that are interesting to your field, to the society. Because only best ideas eventually get funded. I said it's survival of the fittest. And so those applications that are best, those are the ones that end up being funded. All right. Second one, the third one is poor planners. We are very busy. We are very busy people as academicians, as scientists. We're involved in so many things, yes, but we have few hands to help us. All right. We had a research retreat, and we set out task for some junior researchers. If you're given unlimited money, what will you use it to do? That is the question. And for me, I will recruit people. I will recruit people. I will recruit people. Each of my fingers will have people, because I have a lot to do. I have a lot of ideas I want to execute. And so I have few people. Why? Because I don't have money to recruit everybody I need to help me. So if I have money that is unlimited, I will do that. But I don't have that. That question they were asking was just theoretical, because nobody will give you unlimited money. Where is the money even to give you unlimited money? So you end up struggling with your busy schedule. And then you need to work with that busy schedule and also meet the expectation of getting a grant. All right. So because of that, many people end up procrastinating. And some people actually, whether they are busy or not busy, they will procrastinate. That is their nature. But in grant writing, it is a tip and is a tip and trick for failure. If you want to fail, do it. So let's say the funder announces that application is open in 3 months' time, it is closing. You should not actually have waited for the funder to announce, because already you will be investigating for funding opportunities. So you know when the announcement will be made. When you know, it is when you start planning, start generating your ideas, generating your information, generating them little by little. But some people procrastinate. I remember when I was teaching this course some time ago, somebody says that she has application to submit at the end of that week, and she has not started. I said, you are not going to submit it. You will not be able. She said, no, why do you say that? I said, yeah. Sometimes experience is so important. And eventually she was not able to submit it because it's not a magic bullet. You can't just snap your finger and then it happens. All right. So if you want to succeed, don't start late. Don't start late. Don't procrastinate. If you do that, it is equal to mistakes, untidy works, and maybe 6 months, 8 months after review, you will put more tears in your bottle because you will cry again. So there is time for everything under the sun. Time to start to plan. Time to start to execute. Do it on time. Do it on time. And when you start on time, one of the things that happens is that you take time to read it and read it over, read it again, and then you make sure you dot all the I's and you cross all the T's. So start on time to build your case and plan it well. Rule benders. I remember when I was in high school, even primary school, goodness me, there are some of my classmates that always get the cane. In Nigeria, they cane your buttocks, they cane it, they cane it. Some student, oh goodness me, they are used to the cane that even teacher say, hey, stand here, and they stand or they pose, and teacher finish, and they move. After 5 minutes, they come again, they get on that one, because they always bend the rules. And this happens even in the academic cycle. The funder has given you rules. This is what we want. This is their rule. This is their font style. Their font size, the margins, the word count, the number of pages, the deadlines, as we do in ASFI. And somebody will say, I missed that application. Can you allow me? Goodness me. The budgeting rules, the summation process, and they try to make their own rule. Look, you're asking for money that doesn't belong to you. You have no stake whatsoever to begin to determine what happens. The money owners are the ones who are in charge. So every funder has its rules, and rules are rules. follow the rules. Don't bend it. Don't modify it. Don't creatively try to adjust it. If you do so, you put more tears again in the bottle after 6 months. Lone Rangers. Yeah. Sometimes people think that it is when they publish a loan in their scientific paper that is when it's an important paper. No. When you are alone, it's actually a disadvantage. It's not a good sign of being an excellent scientist, because it is something we do amongst ourselves. So one person showing grant is a poor sign. All right. So don't aim to go alone. Collaboration is a good sign that you are serious. Let me put that way. UNESCO says science is the greatest collective endeavor, meaning that all hands must be on deck. And you can see what we do in SFI. That is one of the things that many of you like. We bring you together. We want you to get together. We want you to speak a language. We want you to interact. We want you to network. We want you to know that you have people you can trust and work together, because what we are doing to influence our society is not something you do alone. It's something you work with people to achieve. So a collaborative research does more good than harm. It expands your horizon. Funders are encouraged by it. Seek it. The application where you apply alone will have less chance of success than failure. Unless some applications that are fellowship applications or individual applications where it specifically said it is so, then you go. But even at that, when you're describing your work and everything, you have to also describe that you will be collaborating with people. All right? You need to bring that in the mix so that you don't go alone. Those who go alone are more likely to fail. Your track record. Some people are so ambitious that they become blind. They're so ambitious that they become blind. What I mean is that they want to achieve this, they want to achieve that, they want to achieve that. But the question is, what have you done for somebody to trust you with their money, their hard-earned money? What have you done? And if you check their record, they don't have the experience. They only have ambition. You see, the scientific career is something you build patiently. You build it patiently. For me now, in January, I will be 10 years since I finished my PhD. 10 years. And there is expectation. People are asking, where are you going? What is happening? But they don't know that I'm on a journey of patience. That is what I call it, is patience. Slow and steady. So you have to start from somewhere. Build your career. Build your experience consciously. You see, what we have been doing in SFI, you will not know it. Some of you will not know. If you stick with us for long, there are things that will happen. And we are designing a program to monitor the success, your success story. There are things that will happen. You build some experiences that will begin to put you in a bracket of breakthroughs, but you need to build it. So first timers in grant application, when you apply, the funders will assess the training you have received. If you're a first timer, they recognize that. Those who are first timers, they recognize that. And your accomplishment during your doctoral and postdoctoral years. And so if you have not done anything in this during your doctoral and postdoctoral years, and you're a first timer, you are more likely to fail. And for senior applicants, those who have reached certain level in their career, They will assess your past career experience. They will they will look at your expertise, and they will look at your productivity level. And in academia, productivity level, they will look at your publication. They will look at your collaboration. They will look at your previous grant. They will look at the things you have done successfully. All right? So the question is, what is your track record? What have you previously done that will instill confidence? If you don't have it, my advice is don't be quick to apply. Build it and get it. Build it and get it. All right? Otherwise, you will have more tears in the body sooner or later. All right, methods madness. You have stated your aims, you have stated your objectives, you have stated your purpose, you have stated your research question, you have stated your hypothesis, you have stated everything. Then the reviewers come to your methods and they don't see how you are going to address those things. Oh, and they said, oh, this one is a parrot. You are a parrot. You have shouted so much, and then we have come. We see that you are actually empty. You're just talking. So your methods, if it lacks details of how it will address your research questions, you will fail. So method section is very detailed, very detailed, very detailed. It lists, defines, and justifies research methods and how they address each research question. So your methods should be so detailed that each research question or aim objective you have proposed, you have your methods detailed in addressing it. All right. So details of your study design, details of recruitment procedures and measures you'll be making, your project timelines, your data analysis, and so on and so forth. Your methods should be detailed, clearly presented. You can use figures, you can use tables, you can use different ways to express it so that you can win the battle. All right, so that you can win the battle. It's very, very important to ensure that your method section has those details. Okay, then you'll be able to get through with it. Failing, so what question? Failing, so what question? See, the process of grant writing is interesting. It's interesting because it differs from academic writing, in the sense that there is an end goal. There's an end goal to the grant you write. And the end goal there is influencing the society. So you have proposed this, I'm going to do this, I will test this in the lab, I will collect this questionnaire, I will do this, I will do that. But the funders have one question they will always ask. So what? After you have done all this, so what? So if your study lacks clarity on the impact and pathways to achieve that impact, you are more likely to fail. Trust me. All right? So in a grant project, beyond the direct results you get and the outcomes in which the results are applied, the indirect impact on the field of study and society must be clearly described convincingly. That once we have done this, we believe that the mortality rate in our population in 5 years' time will reduce to this number. You have to assure them that there is a societal impact to your project. So only projects with clear impact get funded. Funders really want to know what the impact of your project is. In your world of jargons, we belong to different fields. All right, that is recognized. Some are humanities or chemists or physics or biologists, anthropologists, IT engineers, and so on and so forth. we belong. But when you come to grant writing, the funders, some of them are business people, some of them are lay people. The reviewers are not always experts in your field. They are not always expert in your field. So when you write with the assumption that all readers understand your field specific jargons, you make a mistake and you are more likely to fail because they will not understand those terminologies that actually can blow your head off, some of them. All right. And that is, I have in my country, Nigeria, a lawmaker he was a lawmaker. This guy speaks, he studies, his main study is dictionary. That is why I see him, because he speaks so much difficult language. He's making sense with those things he's saying, but they are so difficult for other people to understand, even me to understand. Even his colleagues, when he's making contribution in the parliament, he's blowing their head off with jargon, with grammar. If that guy applies for funding, he will fail because they wouldn't understand. So reviewers application may not be expert on the topic. So too much specific jargons can put them off. And when you put them off, you put the money off. So minimize field specific abbreviations, acronyms, and jargons. Write clearly and simply. Leonardo da Vinci said it all long time ago. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. If you have not known that, please know that. Please, if you want to get these slides, I encourage you, write your email on the chat box. Just put your email on the chat box if you want to get the slides so that it can be sent to you later. Write your email there and write it clearly, because many times you get some emails that are not written and they bounce back. All right, so that is the final budget. It's goodness me, budget it. Sorry, budget it, budget sheet, budget it, budget sheet, budgeting. Your funding is very important, because when you fail the funders requirement in budgeting, they will not give you attention. Okay, you're talking about money here. You're talking about money, so you have to define what you actually need the money to do. All right, and when you put your cost, it is required that you go a step further, justify each of the costs you have presented. For instance, you are recruiting a postdoc. What will the postdoc be doing? How long will postdoc be there? How much will it cost? And so on. You define that. If you're buying an equipment, where will you buy the equipment? How much will it cost? Justify that. All right. So there should be a need for details of how you plan to spend the money in order to accomplish the project's aims. Use funders template if available. If not available, liaise with your institution's accountants, economic people, and so on to get your budget in order. All right. This is where I end it for today. That's the 10th one. And I hope you have picked something from this. Now, before I start having your hands up, in the few minutes we have, please, this will be the 11th edition, will be the last edition of Dr. Nwaru's Tips and Tricks for this year. On the 30th of December, we'll be looking at non-fishing expedition, tips and strategies for searching PubMed, Medline, Embase, Scopus, Web of Science, and Google Scholar. I know some of you will be on Christmas. I will also be Christmas holiday. But if you can attend, this will be useful for many. And we have intentionally put it then to see whether you will be able to say, I have something important. And this will be 2 hours that day, 2 hours. We have been having it 1 hour, but because of the content, we have spread it for 2 hours. So please join us. And if you have not registered for this program, please do so. We are having it on Sunday, and it's based on a topic that is affecting us. Some of you have been going off and on, even in this program, because of bandwidth, electricity, load shedding. I want to discuss how does it affect you. Let's hear from the African scientists what they think, what they are doing, how they are solving this problem. So join us on Sunday. It promises to be engaging. It promises to be mouth-watering. And you have our links there when you get the presentation. All right. I have one hand. Harry, have you brought your hand down? Can you raise it again? Then I can allow you to unmute yourself. Okay, I have Emmanuel. Emmanuel, go.
Yeah, good afternoon, Prof, and thanks so much for this wonderful information. It's really, really helpful for some of us that are having the intention to apply for grants. And thanks so much, I appreciate that. And I have two questions. The first one, when you were talking about that in terms of stating the indirect impact of our grant, there are situations where during your writing, you are unable to remember some of those indirect impact, except sometimes when you get to the field, you realize that beyond your initial impact, planned impact of your study, you realize that there are other indirect impact which you can actually document that. So how do we document that? How do we capture that in our application?
Yeah, so you have to have you have to know your field. You have to have your field in your hands. Okay. You have to be your expert. Your expert. So the funder sees you as an expert. All right. And so when you have that, your team, and that is why I said, don't be a lone ranger. When you have your team, you have to discuss each aspect of your grant carefully. All right. You have to discuss each aspect. And this is, it doesn't mean that you be able to capture everything that there is there, your grant will influence. That is not the goal. But the major things, you should be able to articulate those. And when you have collaborative discussions, you'll be able to pick out these things and persuade the funders to give you that money. All right.
Thanks, Prof. The last one. Okay. So there are some jargons that are unavoidable. So so in such kind of situation, how do we present that?
Okay. So if you have jargons, yeah, I agree. There are some jargons that are unavoidable. Define them. All right, define them. So for instance, you have a jargon in your method section. You can use introductory part that this jargon, what it means is this. And I tell you, regardless of how some jargons are, you can actually make them simpler than they actually appear. Okay. And so I was giving you an example of this lawmaker who speaks these things in the parliament. All those things he's saying there, they are true. They are correct, but he can make them simpler. It's a matter of translation, language. We can make them simpler. You can. One of the projects I'm running nowadays in my group here is to translate what we publish as scientists to the language the ordinary people on the street can understand. So you take a piece of published work, we summarize it in a way. Somebody out there will say, oh, this is what you did. This is what you found. It's not easy, but it's a skill you can learn. It's called science communication. And that is where we should be going. All right. I hope that helps you. I have Adeotun Adewoye.
Thank you very much, Professor Nwaru. So my question is, we talk about the track record, because I believe in principle of new beginning. If one has never done anything and one wants to apply for grants, how would that place be? How would that one be sorted out?
I didn't say you shouldn't apply. Okay, I didn't say you shouldn't apply. But what you have to know is that as you're applying, another person is applying too. So if in your field, you're seeking grant from an organization and you have not done anything, you are just empty when you came, and somebody has done something, the person finished the same time with you, the person has published 2 papers, 3 papers, they grant funders who always think that this person at least has shown something. They may consider you, but the risk of failure is higher when you have not done anything than when you have done something and you are the same career level. Okay, so one of the things we are presenting to you in SFI is that we want you to go to the direction of trying to build your career. And I said it, you need to build it. All right? And don't be in a hurry to build it. Don't say, oh, one of my colleagues used to say when he faced Bright, these people don't like my face. They don't like my face. He will speak that language for a long time. Okay? Because they like everybody. They don't even see people's face, but they like everybody's face. But it's not the face that tells the story. It is what you are bringing on the table. Remember, this money is not unlimited. And the funders are not playing games with that. All right? Let it not scare you. But I tell you, once you make your plans and you begin to build your career, you see that the coast will begin to clear. And once you win one, there's a likelihood to win another one, and win another one, and win another one. And sooner or later, you'll be swimming in the pool of projects executed. All right, I have Dr. Alois Bukenya. Please unmute yourself and speak.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nwaru, for this very insightful presentation on grant writing and how to convince our donors. Now, talking about the track record, does it mean I have to present my curriculum vitae to whoever I'm applying it to tell them how I've been performing, maybe with other organizations or agencies? So is that what it means? Because I may be applying for this organization for the very first time and they do not know me.
Yeah, I mean, that is what we mean. Your curriculum vitae is what speaks about you. Okay?
Yes,
and that contains your education profile, that contains your publication profile, that contains your previous research project, that contains who you are collaborating with, that contains how many students you have supervised at the different career levels, that contains perhaps the courses you have taught, that contains some of the trainings you have undergone, that contains the previous money you have won, that contains the project you have executed before. So the curriculum vitae is a place where you express, you say yourself, and that comes in addition to the research project. All right.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yeah. Okay, I have Nelson.
Thank you, Professor Nwaru. It's been a really very insightful presentation. I have a question. It's related to how can we choose? Do you have some tips how to choose the team, the people to team up with them? I don't know. I think that maybe this can help, especially for us in the beginning of a grant writing process. So how the team can help.
I mean,
for the new
yeah. It's not only when you are applying for a grant then you begin to look for people, or when you want to publish, begin to look for people. Start knowing people who are in your area of research. All right, start making contacts. You go to conferences, take their emails, connect with them, and then when you have ideas, you start discussing ideas with them. and you begin to build a relationship. In fact, for me, the team, we have had a presentation on that previously on this tips and tricks. How you can build a world-class team. So you begin to have those discussions. And when things like this come, when you're going to apply for funding, you have a team that is already established. It doesn't mean that you can't get new people during the time of the grant, but there's always that time of developing trust, you understand? And if you're doing it just the time you're going to apply for the grant, people may not open up themselves, as such, because they don't know you very well. So try to start building gradually, make connection. And one thing we have done here in SFI is that your excuses you're not very strong nowadays in terms of collaboration. You can identify people from here already, even from the courses you've attended, people who may have similar interests. Build those interests, build them. And then when you have great things to do, like applying for grant, you can tap into that. And from this platform, I've seen people who have come together and they have actually applied together from attending the courses and then developing their project and use that for their grant application. All right, our time is up. Please.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you have not put your email on the chat box, please do so, so that we can get this. We can get this to you. All right, so this is where we come to the end of today's presentation. I wish you a wonderful weekend and see you on Sunday in our session. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Prof.
Please, I will prepare the audio, sir.
Yes, we'll put as usual.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. God bless you, sir.
We'll put the recording on our YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.